was sitting here going back and forth, man, and hold tight, shed some light on this program. Yeah, that's more like it. I was sitting here going back and doing some brainstorming, I'm gonna sit out here, old lady back there asleep. She could sleep through a storm. My lights went out, man. Everything in the house went out. It didn't stay out long. I was sitting on the porch, whole neighborhood. Look, when you go into a real estate deal, now, first thing, I'm talking from my aspect of doing things because I don't believe in giving them people all my money. OPM, other people money. So if you sign a contract on a purchase, you always got to throw you one or two contingencies in there. The reason you want to put the contingency in there, they're designed for you to back out the deal. You might see something else, a better deal, but you done gave them people $3,000 earnest money deposit with no contingency. And I'll explain the contingency to you. With no contingency, and you decide you want to get out that deal, your $3,000 is gone. The realtor, she'll get half. The real estate company, they'll get half. And the seller, they'll get the other half. And the realtor, let's say it's 6% what the real estate company charge. But the owner will get half, and the real estate company will get the other 3%. Broker will get a 1.5, and the seller will get 1.5. But if you have those contingencies, and the contingency could be something like, this is contingent upon what my partners say. This contingency is upon if I can get a proper financing at a certain interest rate. A contingency could be, when you say partner, your partner could be anybody. It don't have to be, a mandate of a high echelon individual. The contingency can be based on almost anything, but you got to have a contingency in there so you can get your money back. Because you might see something else. You might sign that contract, and then you see something over here that's $50,000 cheaper, but with no contingency, your money gone. And another thing, I will never buy a piece of real estate that the seller is not paying all the closing costs. And a lot of times this is what happened. Let's say I was going to, they want 150,000, and I go into that deal and I say 138.9. They come back and say 143 or 144. I say, okay, you pay all my closing costs. You understand what I'm saying? That way, you don't have to come out of your pocket with any money. Now, if I can't, and a lot of times, if I can't get the seller to pay the closing costs, I won't even buy it. Because it's too many houses out here and too many people that's hungry that they would pay that closing cost. Man, that closing cost can go from anywhere from 2 to 6%. It might cost you anywhere from in this area where I'm living in, it'll cost you anywhere from $4,500 to $7,500. That's right. So always put the contingencies in there, and when you do your negotiation, you write that contract. The first person that mention a number normally lose. So if I say 138 and they take it back to the seller, and he gonna have to initiate, and he come back and say, well, 143. or 144. I said, okay, you pay all my closing costs. And if he's not willing to do that, I'll walk away, man. And I'm also making this for you, man, Dion. Never pay the closing costs, and because it's always enough. Because the real estate game have changed so much, especially on investment properties. Them people want 10, 20, 25, $30,000 to walk in. You know what I'm saying? So and that came later on investment properties, because what had happened, a lot of people was buying these properties and then foreclosing on them. One time, I bought one time that it was a VA, and I went in there, man, and I assumed a VA loan. But now you got to qualify to assume any loan. But I assumed a VA loan, and I paid little or nothing for the property. And the thing about assuming a VA loan, if I defaulted on it, the person that originally took out the loan, he was responsible for that debt. I could sit there and take the property, keep it 6, 8 months, milk it, take all the money, don't pay nothing, walk away from it, and then the person that initially took out the loan will have to pay. But that's why they charge you so much now on investment properties, because people was doing that. But some people say, man, I ain't gonna do all that. I just go ahead and give them $100,000. You gonna give them $100,000 or $200,000 of your money, and if something go sideways, your money gone. But if you OPM use some other people's money, things go sideways, you ain't lost nothing. And that's what it's all about with me. That's the way I'm gonna continue to do it too. Imagine, man.